Hi, I'm James Nelson, Vice Chairman at Cushman & Wakefield, and I'm here to bring you the October 2015 Nelson Report video podcast. I'm here with Patrick Siconolfi, who's the Executive Director of CHIP, that's the Community Housing Improvement Program.
Yes, thank you very much.
Great to thank you for being here.
Good to be here.
And in the past blog, I wrote about the new Rent Act of 2015 and the implications for landlords here in the city. And there's been a lot of talk about this, so I thought it'd be very helpful for our viewers to actually take a step back and first talk about how did this come to be. So who actually passed the Rent Act, and how did it come to be?
Okay, well, the Rent Act of 2015, that's its official name, is a state law. It was passed by the New York State Legislature, so it passed the Democratic-controlled Assembly and the Republican-controlled Senate, and then the governor signed it into law. So that's basically how that occurred. It has a 4-year effective date, so it'll be effective for the next 4 years.
Great. And how much of a say, if any, did the mayor then have? Because I know he was very vocal with this year's rent freeze.
The mayor was certainly very vocal, and he and members of his administration did a great deal of lobbying in Albany to influence what the outcome might be. In our view, that was probably not helpful to the process. He's not a direct participant because he doesn't have a vote in the legislature, but through his alliances with mostly with members of the democratically controlled assembly, he was able to make his views known and get his foot in the door.
And we talked about some of the changes last month, but what are some of the items that are still kind of up in the air or uncertain? I know there's been a lot of talk about the Altman case and an appeal, but for your members, what are some of the questions you have right now?
Well, look, the law made a number of changes, not very helpful changes. In other words, it changed the threshold for luxury deregulation, and it changed the way that's calculated going forward. But the big area of uncertainty that it created was as regards how you decontrol an apartment, the so-called Altman decision, because there was a court case on this, and the Rent Act has ended up codifying a portion of that court case. Now, the problem is that when the statute discusses how you deregulate an apartment, it discusses it 7 times, and each time it discusses it, it uses different language, all conflicting. So it's very difficult to know what the proper rules are. CHIP has looked at that and has developed some guidelines that provide our members with the guidance that we think represents the least level of liability for them, and based on what the probable compliance scenario is.
Right. I know we even talked about, is there a question now if this is not just moving forward, but also a look back, and if so, how many years? So I know these are some of the vital points that you're looking into.
There is a retroactive component that statute raised.
So based on what we have now, what is the chance that, or how could any of these points be overturned, or how could there be a change? Because I know a lot of our viewers seem to think that if de Blasio, if this is a one-term and a new administration comes in, then suddenly this is all erased. But that's not my understanding and what we've discussed.
No, because this statute, the Rent Act of 2015, and all that it provides is decided at the state level. So what it depends on is who's in control in Albany, the governorship, the state assembly, and the state senate. The mayor could leave, and it wouldn't change any of that.
Right. And I know at some point there's been a lot of talk about the Erstat law where, would there ever come a point when the city would make all these decisions pertaining to rent regulation? Right. But that doesn't seem like, at least in the near term, to be a possibility.
Well, it did not come up in the most recent round of discussions, as far as we can tell. So it's not going to change immediately, that's for sure.
Right. Okay, and then one last question for our viewers. I mean, I know that a lot of people out there want to help support the work that you're doing, so how can they go about?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. The best thing that people can do is join CHIP, become a member, become a supporter, participate in our events. Our industry faces a lot of challenges, and it's only if we are all united, every building owner, all united in this fight, and so we would appreciate having your people become members. So
Great.
thank you very much.
Thanks again. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.